Tired of pulling so many packs and getting nothing you wanted? Head on over to MrMuckCoin.com and use code GS20 where you can purchase coins, get 20% off, and go on ahead and get the players you want.
What's going on, guys? GS here. Welcome back to another Madden 20 video. Hopefully you guys are doing fantastic. Hopefully you guys watched some good football this past weekend. Hopefully your team won. Mine, unfortunately, did not. But nonetheless, man, it was still a very good weekend full of fun. So, just a discussion I wanted to go on ahead and talk about. As you guys can see from the title, did abilities ruin Madden 20? Now, I started Ultimate Team back in, I want to say, Madden 12 very, very late. Now, if I'm mistaken, please let me know. I believe Madden 12 was like the last year where they had 4-star 99 overall cards, whatever year that was. Was it Madden 11, Madden 12? I joined very, very, very late that year because I was always a head-to-head guy. Never played Ultimate Team. Just grew up on playing Madden regs, head-to-head. And I ended up getting into Ultimate Team. And it was at the very, very, very end. Just browsed around. I don't even think I played any games. I don't even think I had a team. But I was just looking at how everything worked. And, 99 overall players, just super fast and juiced. And like, this is something I may be able to get into. And then I believe the next year, Madden 13, was the first year I really got into it. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, we had... it was the year they had like DirecTV fantasy cards. I think they had like a DirecTV fantasy JJ Watt, stuff like that, where I ended up having a snipe. I think it was my first ever snipe. And it ended up being something that was like very addicting, right? It was very addicting. You get to assemble this monstrous team where on regs there's always going to be weaknesses. If you pick the Cowboys, they had great speed, they had fantastic running game, but their defensive line probably wasn't all that good. Or if you picked the Raiders, and they had very good receivers, but their running game wasn't all that great. And in Ultimate Team, there are no weaknesses. Well, you have the ability to have no weaknesses. You can go on ahead and put strong position. Well, you can put strong players at every single position, and that right there is something that made it like captivating to me. Right? It's like, hold up, I can have, and at that time, I can have just nothing but Deion Sanders everywhere, and he's gonna go on ahead and just shut everything down. Like, I don't have to worry about any weaknesses. I don't have to worry about being outran on a streak, because I'm gonna have tremendous speed all over the place. And I ended up started playing, and I fell in love with it, as most of us did, right? For one way or another, most of us got into this and really fell in love with the game, and being able to put together your team and being able to assemble whatever type of team fits you best. Now, some people go after the highest overall position at every single card. Some people want to go ahead and just do what they can, right? They can't get the best players, but they assemble a team for them. Like me, like my offense is completely different from a lot of people's offenses, because I carry 15 tight ends that could all run block, and I go after specific linemen for my stretch needs or my toss needs. And I've always built a scheme around the run the past several years and all that. But then then we get further and further along, and then we get to this year, where this year we have abilities. Now, and my source will remain nameless, but I talked to a source that was brought down there, and I mentioned this earlier on in the year when the game came out, and they showcased, while we were still in the midst of Madden 19, they showcased their new idea of Madden 20 and abilities. They showcased, and while I'm being taught this, I was told, they're thinking about coming out with some abilities, like Aaron Rodgers cannot throw a interception. He can't. Like, he literally can't throw an interception, and that right there is the ability. What is it called? What is it called? See, now I got to go on ahead and look. But where the AI can't throw an interception, right? And the only way it can get intercepted is if your cornerback is in the zone, and he can go on ahead and intercept, unless you click on yourself. Gambler. Yeah, he was talking about, well, he didn't know the name of it then, but he was talking about that. And then there was one where They thought about this one isn't in the game, but they thought of one where they had it in beta then, where one of them would be after a certain amount of runs, the running back would have unlimited turbo, and thankfully they didn't come out with that one. But and everyone that was there that was being shown this, all of them, I was told, all of them said no. They had pro players and other content creators, and everyone said no, like, we don't like this idea. Like, I'm not really for it. Doesn't seem like that good of idea. But they went ahead and did it anyways. Now, is abilities going to be removed? I don't think so. I think we're stuck with it. I do not see this going away, because it's a big money maker for them. Because what do you need in order to power up these cards and get all these super abilities? You need training. If you do not have abilities on your cards, they just do not play well. Last year, if you had a 90 speed quarterback, you was outrunning everyone. This year, if you have a 90 speed quarterback, it just seems like it's not 90 speed anymore. If you don't have escape artists, you're not running away from anyone. You're just very slow on the, behind the line of scrimmage. You're just slow. Last year, Lawrence Taylor was one of the most, if not the most dominant pass rusher in the game. I would put him at the end, and he would just go off. This year, have you tried Lawrence Taylor without abilities? I have. And without power move specialists and all these other specialists and all these big abilities, he's just not effective to where he was like last year. It's just very, very, very different. If you do not have abilities on your player, they just play different. I was doing house rules for B-Guard when they had the reward was a... What was it? It was a full... I forgot what it was, but the reward was worth it. And I'm doing it on his account for him. And now, mind you, he has a 90, like an 88 overall team at the time. And he had Gale Sayers, who was at the time the fastest overall running back with 91 stock speed. But he did not have sprinter. And I would get tracked down all the time. And I didn't realize until the next day, because I didn't realize he didn't have sprinter, why I kept getting tracked. He's the fastest running back in the game. Like, I'm having defensive linemen track me down, but when I get in open field with my Gale Sayers, I'm gone. Like, why is his getting tracked down? It's because I had sprinter on mine. Plus 2 speed, plus 2 excel. His did not. And I was just getting tracked down. And it made no sense, because even though his guy was faster than the guy tracking him down, I was getting tracked down, and I was getting stopped at like the one where I think a 50-yard touchdown won you the game. It just ended. And I would take off, and I would run, and I would get stopped at like the 4-yard line, and I would be so upset, because then I had to sit there and sit through a whole game because he just got tracked down. Again, I don't think abilities are going anywhere, because you need a lot of training to get said abilities. And in order to get training, you need a lot of coins. And in order to get a lot of coins, you're probably going to be spending a lot of money. Either that or a ton of time to go on ahead and be able to get the abilities that you need and get the training that you need, because it is expensive. If I power down this Randall Cunningham right now, I probably have 8,000 training in this card alone. And training is expensive. And I feel, my personal opinion is that abilities has a lot to do with this game a lot of times being not fun. Because you can only choose 3, right? And I don't mean that in the sense of I want 15 of them. You can only choose 3 of them, but those 3 players are just completely... when you run into someone that has 2 active D linemen and you try passing the ball, you are getting insta-shedded 8 times out of 10. Every once in a while, you can hold up against it, but trying to pass against 2 active edge rushers is a nightmare. It is an absolute nightmare when as soon as you hike the ball, they are just insta-shedding almost immediately. And there's almost nothing you can do about it. You can double team, you can do this, but then the other guy comes free. You have to block a ton of people, you have to do a bunch of things, and it just makes life extremely difficult when you're trying to pass the ball against two active D linemen. Remember when the game first came out and we had Marcus Allen with evasive and there was no enforcer yet? How dang near impossible it was to stop the run. We just had to deal with it. We just had to deal with Marcus Allen running wild because there was no enforcer. There was nothing that can go on ahead and, make people afraid of just juking wildly. Because with abilities, 99 tackle doesn't mean anything. A player with 0 tackle and tackle supreme is better. Let me say this slow for those of y'all who ain't been keeping up. A player with a 0 tackle rating and tackle supreme ability will tackle way more frequently, way better, way more consistently than someone with 99 tackle rating and 0 abilities. That's where this game has gotten, to where it is no longer built in. If I have a player with 97 tackle, that should be secure tackler. Why does 97 tackle mean nothing in this game if they do not have abilities? If they do not have secure tackler on, they're just not going to tackle that good. You can have 97 play rec, 97 agility, 97 tackle. You can have everything you need ability-wise to be a phenomenal God-tier tackle. But if you don't have any abilities, you're going to get juked out of your shoes with someone with jukebox. And that's where this game has gotten. And I'm just wondering if you guys think abilities have ruined Madden 20. Here's a little food for thought here. Think about this. If you remove abilities from Madden 20, what is different from Madden 20 and Madden 19? Let's just say you take abilities out of the game. Now, obviously, if you wanted to compare Madden 20 and Madden 19, the biggest difference is abilities. We did not have that last year. We have it this year. But let's just say if you take away abilities from Madden 20, what did they do different? What was the difference maker of the transitioning between Madden 19 and Madden 20? I remember RG tweeted out that they showed this to John Madden himself. And they said that the coach was excited to have these in the game and looking forward to it. The coach was excited of all this stuff happening with secure tackler and all these abilities and all this stuff being in the game. John Madden himself. But if you tell John Madden himself this player has 99 tackle, but this guy has 84, but he has an ability to where he tackles way better, I'm sure John Madden would lose his freaking mind and say, well, there's no... I can't even do a John Madden impression. I'm not even going to try. There's no way. How does someone with 96 tackle... 96 tackle should mean he tackles very well. But just think about that. Take away the abilities. What was done differently? And this game being so relied upon abilities, and it is. It is. When I sit down and think of when I'm about to play a game of John Madden, I really need to think and put thought into what abilities I need to have on my squad. What do I need to try and stop today? Do I feel like trying to stop the pass because I'm going to try my best to stop the run with no abilities? And it can be done. It can be. I have, one of the best defenses available to any human in the world. And even I will have trouble stopping a running back that is active if I don't have secure tackle or enforcer, because it's just difficult. Because my guys with... But those of you, let's just say someone stumbled upon this video and have no idea what it is I'm talking about. And you're like, well, what defense do you have that you speak of? Let's just go to one of my middle linebackers. Let's go to Ray Lewis here. Now, Ray Lewis has 96 tackle, 96 play rec. Man, the man is a goon, right? And then we have Willie Lanier. We have Bosworth. Then we go to the outside. And we got Booger Sugar LT. We got Clay Matthews. Don't sleep on Clay. Don't sleep on Clay. 93 tackle, big block shed. Don't sleep on my man Clay 95. I know some of y'all are laughing like, Clay Matthews, listen. He's a Rams team goon. We got Bobby Bell. We got the goons. We got the goons. But without abilities, it is tough to stop the run. So I think, am I going to go on ahead and just get heavy pass rush, right? Am I going to put LT? Am I going to get Von Miller? Am I going to get these guys out there? But then I have to worry about stopping the run because 96 tackle wasn't going to stop the run like that. Or do I soup up to try and stop the run? Let me go no outsiders. Let me go LT with no outsiders. Let me go Clay Matthews with no outsiders enforcer. Let me go with Bosworth with tackle supreme enforcer. But then I'm going to have trouble getting pressure unless I'm sending 7. Unless I'm sending more than he can block, I'm going to have trouble getting pressure in there. And when he passes the ball, I'm going to have to deal with him going on ahead and just having extra time or me having bad coverage because I have to send the world in order to try and stop him. I would just love to know your guys' thoughts and opinions on this. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe you guys love abilities. I like the idea of it. I think if it's done correctly, it can be fun, but this year, their first year doing it, in my opinion, it wasn't done right. They are way too strong. Attributes don't mean anything outside of speed when you're dealing with tackle, play rec. If they don't have abilities, they're just not going to perform. And I'm just wondering, did abilities kill Madden 20 for you? Or maybe there's other things that, killed Madden 20. What killed Madden 20 for you? If it did, maybe you're enjoying it. Maybe you love it. I don't know. I have a love-hate relationship with Madden. There are some times where I love it. One of the few stress-free things that I play is squads because you're actually with someone, you're in a party, and to me it's more enjoyable than sitting playing it by yourself and dealing with, people running the ball out of I form H wing and all this other stuff and trying to stop the run. Even though I have 96 tackles and all these guys with high tackle ratings, it just doesn't matter because they're just getting spun out their shoes. And then I put abilities and they pass the ball and I don't get any pressure because LT with no abilities just doesn't attack the pass the same way he did last year. Even though he has similar attributes, even though he might be better, even though he might be faster, stronger with all this stuff, no ability LT this year does not do what LT did last year. And why is that? And you can't convince me otherwise. You can't tell me that your Lawrence Taylor with no abilities is dominating for you because I refuse to believe it. Because for me, he just doesn't. I tried. Believe me, I tried. I'll sit there and I'll have 3 active linebackers to try and stop the run as best as I can. And then on the D-line, I'll have Von Miller or Jadeveon Clowney and Lawrence Taylor. And every once in a while, they'll get some pressure every once in a while. But it's nowhere near how it was last year. Nowhere near. With no abilities, they just have dang near all day. I would love to know your thoughts and opinions on this. Appreciate the support as always. Until next time, peace.